Wait, we started already?
We're starting right
Oh shit.
now.
Ain't nobody want to see Richard just sliding.
Just looking like that. Everybody wants to see
You sucking on something.
that. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the EleFaded podcast with Richard Luis. I am Richard Luis. Episode 6. Episode 6.
So we're supposed to talk to the camera?
Hmm?
Okay.
To each other. Fool.
Look into my eyes. Tell
Episode 6.
Tell me I'm pretty.
Real quick before we start the episode, we have our sponsors, Glugar. This blunt was used with some Glugar, all right?
It's
Pancho,
true. I saw him do it.
Yeah, Pancho was looking at me. He was like, "Can you please stop licking your lips and fucking spitting on this blunt?"
Those dry shits.
I really don't enjoy that. Joey told me to go wash my hands before I use it, like the last episode, because he said I was a fucking sucio. We have R&R Clothing. Thank you again for sponsoring our network, our podcast. We appreciate all of our sponsors. And today we have a very, very special guest. I've known this guy for... I know for you're a cochino, Dick. You're gonna have to go wash your hands now too, fool. We've been knowing each other for 13. I'm gonna say 13 years officially, because we started hanging out in 2012. So 13 years officially. This guy's like a brother to me. Yeah, pretty much he is my brother. He's my long lost gay brother.
Wow, why you gotta bring it up?
Why you gotta bring up that I'm your brother?
Another gay brother.
You know, we've
can tell.
we've hung out. We've been able to pretty much click together because of our creative thoughts. I would say we've been able to kind of like talk about the shit that we wanted to do. But he actually spearheaded it.
Sex.
We had sex, fuck. But he actually spearheaded on his goals, and I'm really proud of him. I'll let him talk about the background about it. But welcome, Mr. Francisco Flores, aka Punch, aka Two Punch, aka Father of Sixx. AKA the House of Sixx.
Why would you use my legal name?
Francisco Flores. Fool, you know how many Franciscos there are? I know. There's a bunch of Francisco Flores. You're okay.
How many
fool?
Panchos are there?
There's even more, fool. But welcome, bro. I appreciate you for coming on episode 6 with the Sixx.
Oh yeah, for reals. I told them, I was like, bitch, I better be episode 6 because it matches my brand. It is my lucky number, and it's also my birthday.
Yep. Birthday. So it's July or is it June?
Really?
Fool.
Didn't he just say he'd known me for 15 years?
I known him for 50 years, but then I told him happy birthday.
Actually, he texted me happy birthday in June. I was like, bro, it's not my birthday.
It's the weed who is making me lose my memory. Fool.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
thanks, Glue Guard.
Thank you to Glue Guard, sponsors. But fool, welcome to the podcast. And just real quick, like I said, we know each other since high school. But can you give us a background about where you grew up, kind of like your upbringing?
Yeah. I was born and raised in Huntington Park, and then I moved to South Central when I was like 7.
Okay.
And I lived there for like 10 years. So I was very... My mom didn't let me go out because it was ghetto outside.
Mm-hmm.
So I stayed at home a lot. So obviously as a creative kid, I was always just drawing and creating new shit because I was so bored because I couldn't go. After school, I couldn't even hang out with my friends because I lived so far. My parents would pick me up right after. So that was a lot of my teenage years. And then I moved back to Huntington Park to my grandma's house. And then after that, I was able to have more social life and then, you know, go out and party because I wasn't too far from my friends in school. And then I went to this party of this one classmate I didn't even really talk to, but I was like, oh, fuck it, I'll go. And there I met Richard.
You didn't really talk to Bobby like that?
No.
That's interesting.
Kind of, but not really. I had him in class, but I wouldn't say we were friends.
And then you moved. So wait, I didn't even know that. You moved to HP when you were in middle school or high school?
I moved back to HP in 11th grade.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Wow. That's interesting.
My last 2 years, which actually was kind of cool because someone who has never gone out and got a taste of it, I was like, ooh, I can, you know, had I probably lived around the school the whole time, I would have probably been homeless by now.
'Cause of
So
all
being
this shit.
isolated kind of helped me because like I'm a person of like I like fun. I like to do things, and I'm not gonna stay home if I don't have to.
You're just a little slut.
Yes.
Yeah, it's oh shit. I didn't know that. That's interesting that you told me.
Yeah.
Um,
And so sometimes I would walk home, and it would take me like an hour, because it was still Huntington Park. But
oh,
it was
you
far.
fucking walked. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, and then I bought a bike. My mom bought me a bike. And funny enough, I would use the bike after school to get home. And one time I got run over.
You got ran over on your bike, Dick?
Well,
What happened, Dick?
like I was riding my bike on the sidewalk like an idiot. I don't know why I was riding on the sidewalk. I think I was just trying to be safe. And some car backed up. And like, dude,
You got rear-ended?
I had my earphones on, like listening to music, and I was like, "Boof!" I was like, "Oh shit!" And then, hold on, because this gets dumber.
Takes a hit. It gets dumber. Fool, relax. Fool. Don't take it to the chest. Take it to the head. Fool. Take it to the head.
I don't know how.
Blow it out your nose.
Here. I am not a smoker.
Fool, you look like the fucking. See, you're gonna look like the ashtray right now. We got you. Mm. Turn the camera.
Wait, so like after the car hit me, I couldn't leave because I was like more embarrassed than hurt. Cause I was like, damn, this is embarrassing. The car's fucking tire was on top of my tire, so I couldn't leave. I was like hitting the car like, bitch, move
Get off.
forward. And like he moves forward, and I just book it. And then the guy comes out the car like,
What happened?
are
Where'd
you
go?
okay? Like,
Like, yeah, Dick.
yeah, I was like 17, 16. He's probably like, this teenager just ran over him.
You just cried going home.
Yeah.
On your bike.
Yeah. And then like one,
The tire all fucked up.
and then I told my mom, and she was like, oh my god, the bike that I bought you was so expensive, and you know the tire was all fucked up. And then later on, I lent the bike to my friend's cousin, and she sold it for drugs. So. And my mom would never let that go. She's like, I bought you a fucking expensive bike.
This
And
is
you gave it to. I didn't give it to her. She was gonna give it back.
This is all part of the lore.
Yeah.
The lore of Punch.
Allegedly, it was sold for drugs.
Yeah, we met each other at my homie. Well, our homie at the time, Bobby. He used to live.
Your homie.
Yeah, well, we
Nah,
played football
I love
together.
Bobby. He's cool.
He lived 3 houses down from our school, which is funny. And yeah, we
literally in the corner of the house.
yeah, he lived in a corner basically right where Bell High School was at.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's where I met Punch. He was Punch at the time.
Yeah.
Actually, we all
Chains.
because of 2 Chainz, right? But
You know, I changed based on who the famous artist is. Yeah.
exactly.
Just kidding.
Yeah, fuck, man, that was such a long time ago. Just even thinking about it, it was a fun night though.
And Richard was surprised I was there.
Yeah, we were all
What the
surprised.
fuck are you doing here?
Cause
What are you doing
so
here?
we technically met because during that time, it wasn't in drama class, but we were prepping for, they call it a variety show. They had a bunch of musical acts, a bunch of small. It was just a bunch of small musical
I
acts.
always have trouble explaining to people what the fuck the variety
Yeah,
show was.
it was just musical acts and dance acts. That's
Yeah.
it.
And
And
like, so it's theater. I'm like,
yeah,
kinda.
no, no.
Yeah,
It was
more
not
like, I was
theater.
like, it's more like a talent show, I guess.
Did you do question? Did you do Chicago with them?
No,
When did you start
when
with
I
them?
joined theater, we were gonna do Romeo and Juliet, and I was gonna be the fucking priest. of all, and it was because I was fat at the time.
Oh shit! Wait, what grade were you in, Dick?
11th grade. And
This
so
is
like,
this is the priest give her like the fucking vial to kill herself.
I don't know, but I don't know why, cause like now, whatever. I don't.
But
believe
you
in-
started
I don't
as
believe
that.
in God, but anyway.
Fuck.
Yeah. So we were.
That was the funnier part, though.
We were rehearsing for Romeo and Juliet, and the 2 Romeos wouldn't take this shit seriously. So Mr. Gomez was like, "I'm canceling the play, blah blah blah," and we were like, "No, let me put out this work." It was Chris and Martin, and we
Oh,
were like, "Oh God, like these guys weren't taking that shit seriously." But then, out of that, he created the variety show. So it was
Oh,
a plan B.
okay.
And it became a hit.
It was good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so then obviously next year I did it again, and that's when you joined.
I honestly thought they were doing that variety show for a while, but that's
No, it was because the Romeos.
because that shit sucked. Because the Romeos sucked.
The Bromios.
The Bromios fucking couldn't have. Yeah, they were Bromios pretty much. Oh, that's fucking interesting. Yeah, that's how me and Punch met originally because of the variety show. Again, it's musical and dance acts, but yeah, when we
Richard is a singer. If you guys.
I'm a singer. I used to dance. I still dance, but I don't
He used
dance
to do the splits
right
and
now.
rip his pants.
Yeah. Oh my god, dog. So I ripped my pants in
Remember my
class
sister
before like
called you
that.
Belly Jean.
Belly Jean, Belly Jean. So I did Billie Jean, but she called me Belly Jean. Fool, the video's still out there. That's a good one. Belly, hey, for Belly Jean, Belly Jean.
Hey, here comes Belly Jean.
Here goes Belly Jean. I used to have my
Yeah.
fedora on and shit. But yeah, that's when we saw Punch at the party, and we were like, I was like, "What the fuck are you doing here, Dick?" He's like, "I'm just
What are
chilling."
you doing here?
He was sitting on the he was sitting not even on the porch. You know how like the porch has like a wall? Sometimes he was sitting on the wall like fucking dangling his legs.
And I had a backpack.
He was drinking a fucking like a
You
fast
remember my
food.
big ass leather brick
Yeah.
backpack?
And you had a fucking Boulevard's cup with fucking
Yeah,
alcohol
with
in it.
alcohol. Yeah.
It's like I'm just here chilling. But that's where we ended up fucking. Yeah, we spent the rest of our lives together pretty much.
yeah,
After that.
after that, because
Yep.
it was like, oh, you party, I party.
We were all partying.
let's
Yeah,
party.
let's
Yeah.
all party together, and that's mainly how we connected. But then, when did you start going to FIDM?
After high school.
Right after?
Yeah,
Shit.
Well, I'm a fashion designer.
Mhm.
Forgot to mention.
I didn't forget to mention. You forgot to mention. This is your
so-
story.
So after,
Besides the fact that you're a slut, but go ahead.
okay, so I don't like school, and I know school is important. I personally don't like it.
Mhm.
I found it boring and irritating to have to do homework. So I was like, I don't know, like I want to go to college because I know I have to get a better job. Then I found out about trade schools and art schools, and I was like, oh wait, I could do only 2 years and get a career out of it.
Mhm.
And I wasn't even into fashion that much, but I liked watching like Project Runway and TV.
Put it down
So
right there.
I was like, this looks fun. Like I could do this shit. And,
Yeah.
And so then like I started getting into fashion, and I was like, oh, like this is actually like I'm really good at it. I understand it. I get it. I understand why like something's hit and why something's don't hit. So once I started liking it, I was like, fuck it, I'll go to fashion school because it's only 2 years. So I did FIDM, and I did 3 years, like, you know, because like the first 2 years I did my regular like AA,
Mm-hmm.
associate's degree, AD, not AA.
Those Associates of Arts.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Associates of Arts, not the Alcoholics Anonymous. Not yet.
That one comes later.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then they have this third year program where they're like, it's like the top students go and they do like their runway show, and it's like you're on TV and stuff. So I was like, I want to do that, but I thought that was graduation. Like I thought everyone who does it gets to be on the show, like
No.
everyone who gets it. And no, it was like this whole thing where you had to have a certain grades and all this stuff and whatnot. And of course, like I didn't have the GPA. You had to have a 3.0 and I had a 2.7. Mostly I failed history in fashion school. So I didn't get accepted to the third year program, but I was like, I want to do that shit, so I'm going to do it. So then that's when I started like at home. Like I used to work at Kmart after college and unlifting like trailers. But after when I would get home, I'd be sewing and doing all this shit because I was like, I have to get on. I want to get on. I know this is going to help my career.
Mm-hmm.
Behold, I apply. They gave me a full ride. They don't give a fuck about my grades and whatever. They're like, okay, we need you to be on them, whatever.
Yeah.
And so I did the whole show. I was on the runway. I did shows in Palm Springs, and then it was like a 3-weekend thing at school. And yeah, after that, like my first job reached out to me. They hired me, and then from there, it's just been like companies
You've been
reaching
in the
out.
industry
Yeah.
since
Like
then.
it's
Yeah.
rare that I apply for a job, but also you meet friends and make friends in the industry, and like people have helped me get through, you know, like get a certain job or get certain money and whatnot. So yeah, I would say
Well, it's
that's
cool.
been my path through school. Like I hated it, but I knew that
Yeah,
I
you
had
get
to
there.
do it, and even if I didn't want to, like sometimes it was like the sacrifices that I had to make. Because I could have just been like, you know what, fuck it, I don't want to go to school.
Yeah.
I want to party and do all these things. And, and then whenever I would go to school, like, I was anxious for the weekend so I can go party. But I knew it was like a payoff, So,
Yeah.
like, yeah. So, like, anyone who hates school, just do it.
Yeah.
Like,
We'll learn.
It'll benefit you. And, yeah.
Well, I was telling one of my last homies on the podcast, school's like a social networking place. Like, you get to meet, you just said you got to meet a lot of people that basically got you
take
in a job
advantage of your resources at school.
Yeah.
But don't approach people with intentions of using them because it comes off as fake, and then you will make no connections and you'll have a bad reputation. Like if you're genuine and you care, but you meet the person first and then you get the benefits. Like I think that's how it works best.
Yeah.
But if you go in saying like, "Oh, that's so and so's son," I'm gonna make friends with them. Then yeah, you're gonna slip up. Yeah.
No, I look at it as a way of just you being in the institute is just a conversation starter. You guys are at the same fucking place.
Yeah.
And that's it. But yeah, I like to kind of explain more too. So Pancho's done a lot, man. I haven't been there every step of the way, but I do remember like being able to see the institute that he went to. What does FIDM stand for? Fashion Institute.
Well, funny enough.
Well, they're not FIDM anymore. But
yeah, FIDM doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, it's under
Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I went to it because I thought it was like the prestige school and whatnot, but I would have just gone to Trade Tech because it would have been cheaper, probably free, and like now I have a shitload of student loan debt, but whatever.
But you got to experience. You got to experience like
and
a lot
because
of,
of the
too.
name of the school, I was able to get jobs because like the reason my boss, my first job told me, she was like, "Oh yeah, I went to the FIDM school because I heard that they're best students and blah blah," and I found your portfolio, and I was like, "Oh well, they lied to you, but yeah, thank you."
Yeah, but his shit was sick too because I was actually at the last, the runway show that he did in in LA, right, at the hangar.
Yeah.
It was one of
Santa
some
Monica
airport
hangar.
hangar. Yeah, there you go. And it was great, man. I mean, to see you were
2016.
So you were 22?
I had just turned 21.
21 at the time, and
actually no, I was 20 and I turned 21 a month after.
A month after the runway show.
Yeah.
So he got to experience
then we went
all
to
that.
Palm Springs. It was in August, and I was able to drink
legally. He got to experience all that and get a full ride and present all his his ideas basically on a fucking runway show and get a film about it.
And funny enough, I was living in Long Beach not that long ago, and my fucking teacher, the college teacher, the one that like, he basically like he was a substitute one time in a class, and he was like, who here thinks that, because Guess was like, oh, we wanted your top students and whatever to do a collaboration. And he was like, who do you think, who here thinks that they can win the competition? And I don't know, something inside me, I was like, me, like I could do that shit. Knowing damn well that I couldn't. But and he was like, oh, really? And so like, he was like, okay, so I'm going to put you down. And then I ended up winning the competition.
Yep.
Yeah. And so then that teacher knew me from that competition, and he was the teacher in charge of the third-year program. And the first time he had called me, he was like, hey, so like we can get you into the program, but we're only going to give you a $10,000 scholarship out of $30,000 that the whole program cost. I was like, oh, I can't afford that. Like, I already have debt for my first fucking 2 years. Like, I'm not going to add more to it because my parents are going to pay, allegedly. And yeah, I ended up paying for that shit. But
fake news.
Yeah. After I applied, then I reached out to him, and I was like, I really want to do it. So then he was able to get me a full scholarship. Wow. Little be known, years later, after I graduated college, I have not kept in contact with the teacher, whatever, not. I walked to my car in the corner because I used to park in the street. In the corner, there was a, outside of my apartment. And lo and behold, there he is walking his fucking dog. And it turns out he lives right there. Like, this whole time, my fucking teacher who, like, helped me get my career lives right there. And so then I talked to him, and he was like, oh, yeah. And I would see him around, and I would just talk. And, he'd just tell me, like, oh, yeah, like, I remember you, your ambitions and blah, blah, blah. And I was always, like, thankful. I was like, dude, like, honestly, if it wasn't for you, like, I would not be here.
Right.
Living next to you. Yeah.
That's fucking insane, dude.
Yeah.
How life works. And Not not to get like a long description of it, but what got you into designing besides you basically
Liking
drawing at
TV.
home? But I know like you've told me
Yeah.
not just TV, but your grandma used to basically sew too, right?
Well, my whole family has been in the industry. My
Yeah.
grandma was a sewer and helping tailoring. My uncle was a pattern maker.
Oh, okay.
My parents worked in those. Well, not my mom mostly. In those like in the fashion industry and like either it's a warehousing or sewing or something. Like my family's always been in there.
Okay.
And my grandma has always made us stuff. But the reason I got into sewing was because back then skinny jeans weren't a thing for guys
Mm-hmm.
when I was like in high school, and so my grandma would, me and my cousin would tell my grandma like, "Oh, can you make our jeans skinny?"
Mm-hmm.
And it got to a point where like I just felt bad constantly asking for her for that shit. So I
Mhm.
was like, "Can you just teach me how to sew and I can do it myself?" Because I just felt bad. Like I feel like damn, we're abusing this old lady, taking advantage of her because she wouldn't charge us anything. Like we're her grandkids, and so I was like, "Just teach me, like teach me how to fucking do that shit." So she taught me, and I still have. I should have probably brought it, but it's a bracelet that I made out of leather
Mhm.
that I cut up my mom's back. It was my mom's leather bag, and I made a bracelet out of it. And that was the first time I ever like used a sewing machine. And you like, yeah, like you can tell like I didn't know how to sew, but I made it. Like I made the bracelet, and I fucking put buttons on that shit, and I wore it. And I actually wore it on my runway show.
Oh, okay.
My last night, I wore it as a symbolism,
Mm-hmm.
And then I was wearing this white jacket that I made during the time that I was applying to that program. So it was like a full circle moment, and then I left the bracelet in my jacket, my white jacket. Washed my jacket, the red leather stained the whole thing. So I had to throw the jacket away. But I still have that bracelet. And because I washed the bracelet, it got stiff. So now I can't wear that shit. But
I'm laughing at the fact that you took the leather, and I'm wondering like when your mom got home and was like,
oh yeah, my mom used to hate.
like, what the
I
fuck
don't know if
happened
she
to my
hated
purse?
it, but okay. So I ruined her bed sheets. I ruined her. I one time made a rug out of a hat out of the shower rug. She was like, "Where's the shower rug?" I was like, "Oh, I made it into a hat." On her couches, she would have like these trapos,
You said,
and I made
"Ta-da."
like a vest out of them. Like she was constantly like because I didn't know like nobody took it to I didn't know like fabric stores existed. Like I honestly didn't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Like, I just thought like, oh, you go to a factory and you ask for the fabric. So like I was just using up all my mom's
All the shit in the house.
cutting up my hoodies, making my sister gloves, and like all that stuff. And then when I found out a fabric store, I was like, oh shit.
Oh, perfect.
Like
Sorry.
everything I need is here. I didn't know that. But yeah, like that's
That's
how
basically how
creative
it.
kids be, just using up all the resources and fucking up your mom's shit.
And not about the jobs. Like, I don't know if you're under like NDAs to like talk about certain companies you've worked with, but
I
just-
never signed an NDA. What do
Perfect.
you want to know?
how many? Well,
Actually, I did, but I don't work there anymore. Because I work with influencers. Remember?
yeah. So not to just to make it very simple. Pancho is actually a ghost designer for a lot of companies. Can you name a
Yeah.
few that people might,
I don't know if like people might know the brands necessarily,
But you've
I
worked with
like,
Disney
Sean
before, right?
Wotherspoon, Kathy from 7 Days, Eggy, I forget her name, Jen M. She's like a big YouTuber.
Didn't you do Disney collabs too?
I did Disney collabs. I did like the whole. I've done.
The mouse is
yeah.
gonna come for you, dying.
Yeah, I've done like the whole, the whole shit. Like Sammy Ryan was the brand. Sammy and her husband, so cool. Like they were the only influencers that I really liked.
Like enjoy kicking it with.
Yeah, I mean most of them I would say. It wasn't that they were mean or anything, cause like they were respectful, cause we work with them.
Yeah.
Obviously, like they're grateful that we like did things, but I wouldn't say that. Like a lot of them were very like friendly in terms of like wanting to make friends and get a good relationship out of you. And I'm like, I'm literally a crew in your brand.
Yeah,
like
what the fuck?
I'm doing
Yeah.
I'm doing you a favor, whatever. I mean, I don't have to be friends with everyone. And then there was always a lot of ego and stuff. But I wouldn't say there was like anything crazy. Like nobody stabbed me. No one threw a
Nobody
chair at me like you hear about these influencers.
The mouse didn't come drive by your house and shit.
No, no.
The band,
But
the
actually,
Disney
like,
watch?
so funny. Like, working with influencers, it was basically like our company would help them create their own brands. So like sometimes the brand already existed when I came in, and sometimes we had new brands that were trying to get established. Like sometimes, like Sammy Ryan already came established, so it was more like fitting into her. But when there was another influencer that didn't have nothing, it was like our jobs to figure out like what is their brand, what is the thing, you know, like so like doing all that for like 3 years and like understanding like where to get resources from, how to start a brand, how to do the social media, how to do all this stuff, blah blah blah, photography, blah. I was able to learn everything in 3 years, and I was like, you know, if I can do this for someone else who clearly is not a fashion designer, has no background in fashion, I could do that shit for myself. And so then that's why I started my own brand, because I was like, I'm literally just making other people's dreams come true when I could do my own. You know, like make my shit come true.
Yeah.
And so I did. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I quit that job. I moved to Taiwan. I took the time because my sister lives there. I took the time to just like focus on the brand, create a logo, figure out the name, and do all these things. So like I've been lucky enough to have, because most people won't have the time to do that and whatnot.
Yeah.
I knew I couldn't do it while working, because I was like, I have to really, if I'm going to create something that I'm going to be passionate about and probably push forward, it has to be something genuine. It has to be something meaningful. Otherwise, I'm just branding T-shirts and putting some shit on my T-shirt and be like, buy it. And it has like no purpose, no soul. So I was like, I had to create something. And the Sixx name came out of, I knew I wanted something with the S.
Okay.
I don't know. I was either going to be like Siren or something like Sirena, something like feminine and girly. But then out of nowhere, like I was like, wait, my lucky number is 6. I was like, how do I make that cool? So I just put the in front of it.
The.
So it's like the 6 makes it more like, okay, this is something, right? And then my logo, if you look at it, is it this way? It's a S, but it's literally 2 knives pointing in opposite directions on top of each other, because and it's a 6. Like the knife is shaped like a 6. So I wanted to create something that was like cool, like, you know, like you just see the logo, it's cool, but also like there's a meaning to the logo. I didn't want it to just do like an S. I wanted it to be like, why that specific S? And so like also if you flip it sideways, it's a 69.
Well, even you draw a lot of inspiration also from, because if you go look at his pages, he draws a lot from horror films and slashers and stuff like that.
So like I said, I wanted the brand to be something personal, and like I didn't want it to feel like, oh, I'm just doing something for money.
Otro.
Oh my god! Turn the camera the other way
so he doesn't see you.
Fucking suffocate.
Don't worry, fool. He's not turning red. We're trying. Check out the brand. Fool. We're trying to get him.
We'll show the brand.
We're trying to get him just like this. Right now, when you flip back, he's gonna be just like that right now. Watch.
Tongue out and.
So yeah, can you go more into?
Yeah. So like, I've always been a horror junkie. It's funny because
a horror junkie or a horror junkie. Sorry, my bad for you.
A junkie horror. No, like as a kid, I was a pussy. I'm not gonna lie. I was scared of everything.
Okay.
I was like, oh my god, I had to sleep with the door open across my parents' fucking room because I was scared, you know.
They're just trying to.
Yeah, they're just trying to fucking. I'm like, open the fucking door. I'm scared. So yeah, I was a scaredy cat when I was a kid.
That's where the 69 got inspired from.
Yeah, from my parents when I walked in. Yeah, like, what are you doing to her?
Keep going. I got you.
At some point. In my life, I was just like, actually being scared is kind of cool.
Okay.
So I was started to embrace it because I felt like if I can conquer my fears, then I can conquer anything.
Okay.
And so now, like, I watch scary movies. I ain't scared. I'm like, this is fucking acting. And you know what helped me a lot? I was obsessed with Saw, and I would buy the DVDs and I would watch the how they made the behind the scenes kind of stuff. And it kind of helped me with fashion because when I got my first job, I worked in a factory and I was able to get the behind the scenes things. And I was like, oh, like this is how this works. Kind of like pulling the curtain out of
Yeah, this is how
shit.
this is how the machinery works. Like,
Yeah, because a lot of things like people might say like, oh, this bag looks cool. Like, how did you get that shape? Blah blah blah. But then when you see people make it, you're like, oh, it's actually not that hard.
yeah, yeah.
So like, I feel like if people back in the days, a lot of people used to make their own clothing. You know, like everyone knew how to sew, everyone knew how to do shit. I feel like if people learn now, they would be able to make their own clothing because honestly, it's not that hard.
Especially now.
And I feel like that, like in capitalism that we live in, whatever, it benefits the people making money off clothing that people don't know how to sew. So I feel like it's a trait that like has been off the popular market because they're like, well, why would they learn how to sew? They're gonna just make their own T-shirts, figure out. Yeah, like now I love horror and it's rare that like movies scare me because like now I know like I mean I don't believe in spiritual shit or nothing, so I think like if it's real, it's gonna be in front of my face.
Yeah.
You know, um, but I still love like the concept of watching the movie, the characters be scared.
Right. Yeah. You like the story.
Yeah, like I'm like, oh, like I wish I was that scared sometimes. Like how thrilling would it be, you know? Like I kind of miss being a scaredy cat, but yeah, I mean, horror has become my whole personality, even though like I don't really watch that much horror. Like I watch Mean Girls and I watch like girly movies and shit, or I watch like a fucking the Transporter and shit. But when I want to feel like yeah, when I want to watch like something comforting, I'll watch a horror movie because it reminds me of like my childhood.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. And well, you still draw inspiration from all those other movies too, because this is clearly
the fucking the bag, that spike bag is obviously inspired by like punk rock, but it could be used as a weapon in a horror movie.
Yeah, it could. It got spikes on it.
But the reason like I like the horror movie concept for a clothing brand is because in horror movies, there's this movie called A Cabin in the Woods. Have you seen it?
No.
So it's like my favorite horror movie. Because it kind of plays on the shtick of like there always has to be a hot girl, there always has to be a jock, there always has to be a stoner. Actually, the stoner is one of the things, a stereotype, and then there's always the final girl. So like the movie plays like exactly how horror movies should do.
Okay.
And then the twist fucks up the whole thing. Like it just like blows your mind. And I was like, holy shit! Like that's so cool. Like to have that mentality of looking beyond of what's the stereotype, like breaking the boundaries. I forgot what I was going with that. The Weed City.
No, I was talking about how you're drawing different inspirations from these bags, and
oh yeah.
Like
So when I was making like this bag specifically, I was thinking of it like maybe this could be a weapon, because I was gonna only put spikes in the middle.
Okay.
And then I was like, fuck it, if we're gonna go here, just make it look scary. And every time I show people this bag, they're like, how is someone gonna wear it? How is someone gonna carry that shit? I'm like, I don't fucking care.
No, it's a collectible.
Like they'll figure it out. Whoever wants to buy the bag will figure it out. And if they don't want to ever use it, they don't have to. Like it's more like art. Like it's meant to look pretty.
Yeah.
It's not meant to function.
Yeah, honestly, when you dropped, when you did your drops, when you started doing these specific, like these exclusive bags,
editions,
this is fucking dope because, yeah, the point is that it's art, and
Yeah.
you're not really meant. These are collectibles.
Yeah,
These aren't
yeah,
really meant
for
to.
sure. So like the limited X program that I started doing is
Uh-huh.
um something about like inventory like is so uninspiring. Like to see the same item just stored in
Yeah, yeah.
something like it just like it was kind of sad to me to see like my bags that hadn't sold just sitting there, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give them a new life. Like someone's gonna buy it, someone's gonna want one of
Good.
these things. Like why not? And it's my shit. Like I don't care if I ruin the bag. It's mine.
Yep.
So I started to just like customize the shit, like putting rhinestones or like having my tattoo artist like put tattoos on fake leather and then just me sew
That's
it
fucking
in.
sick,
And
dog.
it's crazy because like when I reached out to these people like that I know very well, and I was like, oh, like, are you down to do a collaboration in some sort? It's like, don't worry, I'll pay you. Like, I'm not gonna be a shady business person. Um, it was cool to see like to get the back. Like, hell yeah, like I've been waiting or I want to do it. Like to see people eager to create.
Yep.
Was just like, okay, like I'm not the only person that feels like eager to like do something
Yeah.
to change to
Yeah.
so it was kind of exciting, and then like you kind of get closer to people like,
Of course.
when you start creating shit together.
Of course.
Kind of cool. So
You're spending time with them. You're getting to know them on a different level.
you understand
You know?
like their taste level or what they do certain things. So yeah, so it's I think people should create more, to be honest. Like
Just spend more time together too.
one, it's fun. Two, get the fuck off your fucking phone.
Yeah.
After you finish watching this podcast, or like play the audio. I don't know, but
Yeah.
like something about like creativity. I think like when people experience it, like their minds are blown. Even like if they just see art, like if you go to a museum, you see some shit and you're just like, whoa, I'm so inspired. Like this person did this thing so great. Like I could do something great too. Like I feel like it inspires people to do beyond just their 9 to 5 and whatnot. Like I feel like people would be happier if we were all just more creative and enjoying shit. But like yeah, this is literally my creative outlet. I have a lot of ideas, but money it's always been an issue, and I don't know why it's so expensive to just be creative.
Yep.
To make money off of it, but it really like with like I said, I was using up my mom's fucking bed sheets and rugs and shit and creating shit out of it. So like it's not expensive, but if in the industry, if you want to create shit, it could be expensive. But there's always an outlet. Decorate a bag, decorate a fridge. I don't know. Put glitter on your shit. I don't know.
Glitter on your shit.
Yeah, and sell that shit. Somebody would buy it.
Well, I think the most important part is that when you're doing these collabs with people, you're never gonna get like that time. I wouldn't say that time back. I'm trying to say that in some positive way. You're spending time with that person and you're getting to know, like making a
Like
friend.
you'll never get that opportunity again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's perfect that you get to share that. I also thought, well, I definitely want to take you to a show, bro, and have you like post up with your brand, like have a booth.
I told you that I'd be down.
Yeah. Well,
I
it's
think like for
summertime.
me, like what I really like would prefer to do is like style someone or create outfits for someone. I don't know. I'm not a I'm not a salesman, so like the idea of me just standing somewhere and selling my stuff, it doesn't really like motivate me because
Mhm.
I guess I'm not like money motivated.
Sure.
I'm not someone who like gets excited when they make a sale. I'm more excited that the person has my product.
Mhm.
So like that people tell me like, oh, you should do like this event and sell your stuff there, and I'm like,
No.
it doesn't sound appealing to me to just sit there and sell my things and like because like you're just thinking about money really. But
Yeah.
like what I really would love is like someone wearing my things or someone
If you're always focused on the number, you're not going to think about the other opportunities.
yeah, like my passion, like when somebody buys something, I'm excited because I'm like, oh, like they finally have a piece of something that I created in their house, not so much like, oh, this person gave me their money,
Yeah.
and that's why like one of my friends, she's like a business partner now.
Mhm.
We talked about like me, if I make custom shit for her and whatnot, and like to me that's more exciting. Like okay, like this person I get to style this person and they get to wear one of a kind shit that
Yeah.
people are gonna ask her like, oh, where'd you get that dress from? Like, oh, you can't find it. it's mine. You know.
Exclusive. Yeah.
Yeah, exclusive, but like not in a snobby way, but more like cool, like creations. Like
It's one on one.
Yeah.
You know.
And like when I design my products, I obviously have to think like, what's gonna sell the most? What is too much? What is not enough? What is gonna take me different? So like that kind of aspect of design is so. It feels like work, but when I get to do like one of a kind shit and just do what I want,
you feel more motivated.
Yeah, like I want to do it. Like lately, I've been just like I have my dress form and I've been creating shit, and I'm starting to create pieces that are like one of a kind, unique, and I'm gonna rent them out to like stylists and like any model or somebody that wants to just wear it for a day or whatever. Like obviously, I'm gonna dry clean it after. But yeah, like I need to find something because like this whole using my talents to make money thing, it's honestly not satisfying at all because I work in the industry, so it just feels like I work 7 days a week.
Yeah, you're doing it like 24/7 pretty much.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm not a money driven person, to be honest.
Well, you're more about the
Even
creativity.
though I do attract a lot of money.
But for the most part, yeah, that's why I want to bring you to the events, not to really post up and sell, but I just know your character.
Yeah, like to promote the brand.
Your brand, but just promoting yourself.
Like if you have a stage and I can do some art installation or like some background for you when you perform, like that'd be cool. You know?
Yeah, I'm focused on getting those kind of events out now. Like they're all kickbacks, really.
Yeah.
That's really what they are.
Yeah.
So, but I like the fact that now a lot of my friends are, they're designing. They have their own businesses. They have their own businesses going. They have their own. Even if it's not a business, it might be something that you just want to promote. But they have that going on for you now.
Yeah.
And like even here, Stoner System Network, they have their brand to promote. Humorous does art. He actually.
Oh really?
He did this whole wall.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
See, and that's the thing. Like, I like people who are creative in any outlet. Like, for example, my tattoo artist. Like, how do you combine a tattoo artist with a brand?
Yep.
So like anytime I can figure out a way to like collaborate with someone or do something. Like, obviously, my forte is design and fashion. Some people are like illustrators. Like, there's an illustrator, or Meet Designs on Instagram. She actually, I teamed up with her to do the graphics for my T-shirt, my first T-shirt that I'm gonna release soon. And it's because like I loved her shit. I was like a fan of hers, and I was like, this girl, I can tell is passionate about her shit. So I'm like, let me reach out to her and see if she'll do something for me. She designed like some croquis for me. So croquis is like a model, and then you just draw clothes on her. So she designed those for me, and then I was like, I'm gonna reach out to her to do my first T-shirt, and she did, and like
sick as fuck.
And it was very easy to work with people who understand, because like I just had to give her like a few images and then an idea, and she put that shit together. I didn't even have to have her revise nothing, because I was like, you get it.
Yeah.
So they're like creating a community, like you're like with your thing of like, okay, I'm gonna sing, but I want other creatives around. It feels cool because you get to appreciate each other and understand like-minded people, and then obviously like fans come along and whatnot, and they support you. Like the community isn't just about like the artists; it's also about the people who are like the fans and supporting, and the people who are like, I don't understand sewing, I don't want to know how to sew, but I want to spend my money on someone who, like those people, and like all that is the community. I think a lot of the times people default to where like, oh, I only want like the best rappers and blah blah blah, and I'm like, well, what about the fans? Like, what do they want? Like, what do you think about these are the people that are gonna spend money? Like, why does nobody ever think about them like that much? Well, I feel like obviously successful companies do, but I feel like a lot of the problems that I've seen arise in like small communities is like the exclusivity of like only certain people can join and blah blah blah, and then disregard for like the people who are paying. And I'm like, well, that's why you're not successful.
Yeah, I mean, you still have to find a way to tell your story each time and not make it an exclusive thing. Like, this is to the public. You're showing your story.
You're basically saying, hey, please look at me.
Basically, yeah.
Appreciate my shit,
But even aside from that, it's like, this is an outlet to connect. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all it is. This is why I like these experiments and these projects, because this is all a way for you to connect with the other person and to outside. Like, we have fucking the internet now. We have people watching from everywhere.
It's
So-
funny you think like the things that are supposed to unite us, like internet and stuff, it's actually like divides us.
It does.
Because
yeah. It's saturated though. That's why.
Yeah, and because I think like there's a lack of like art and creativity or expression. You know,
Mhm.
people like they're trying to cut funding for all these schools for art, and it's like the first thing I'm like, well, if we let people just be creative and whatnot, we wouldn't be fighting so much on the internet. We'd be appreciating each other.
Smoke some weed too,
more.
Doug. A
Yeah,
little bit.
literally, go touch some fucking grass,
Straight up.
bitch.
Beside, you know, guys, we have our Instagram handles and stuff like that here displaying on the video, but where can we find more of your, maybe some press or anything like that? Do you have a link tree for like your press or anything, or is it just your website right now?
No, it's just my website on
What's
my
the
Instagram.
website?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Like,
Uh-huh.
my goal for the brand is only to exist for 6 years.
Okay.
I'm hell bent on the 6 thing. If I sell the brand, it goes. Let that be. That cuts my time. So if I close the brand, it is what it is. So there
Mhm.
would only be 6 years of this thing. I really want to go into like movie making.
Oh, okay.
Horror movie making specifically.
Gotcha.
I feel like the horror market is a little bit. So I feel like I have some of these cool ideas to like push forward to. So like that's kind of like where I'm heading to.
Okay.
So
that's
for
fucking
now,
cool.
like,
hell yeah.
you know, enjoy the fashion, get the thing, but just know it won't be here for a long time.
Where can we find your website?
It's it's House of Sixx with 3 X's.com, but
Okay.
at my job you can't type 3 X's on the website. So
Restrictions, Doug.
yeah,
I think it's a
yeah,
fucking porn
it's
site, Doug.
porn. So like, so Google the House of Sixx and like I'll be on the top, but I also had to buy a separate fucking link, like title website thing. So when you use it at work, it'll go to that and they won't think it's fucking porn.
Yeah.
And I found that out because my coworker was like, our computers won't let us use your website. I'm like, what? Yeah.
And the fucking restriction said it's porn.
Like, Susan, why are you watching porn?
Alrighty. So, guys, thank you again for tuning in. Punch, I really appreciate you coming in, bro, and getting to share not just your brand, but just yourself.
Yeah,
so
this was fun.
we get to look back at it and kind of like present these videos for it. I like showing it to family because,
Yeah.
you know, that's why I did the first season with just mainly close friends, because it's been a long time.
Oh, yeah.
coming.
Wait, I want to say something.
What happened? Tell me, fool.
I also went to that fucking King Cobra Muay Thai.
Oh, so hold on. So Room, to close a quick story. Go ahead.
So I Richard told me, he's like, oh, I do Muay Thai. And I was like, oh, like, you know, I hate working out because I hate repetitiveness. I was like, I need something creative. So I was like, oh, Muay Thai, I could do that shit. Like, it's a good workout. And so here I go. I bought my gear, bought everything. And I'm like,
you did a good job, dude.
no, yeah. I was like, I was doing the classes and stuff until one time I fucking, one of the, what are they, fighters or customers?
It was one of our traders.
We
at
were
the
like,
time.
you know, I thought it was play fighting. Motherfucker punching in the face. I was like, what the fuck? And so then they were like, oh, like, okay, so like these fights are gonna come up soon. And I'm like, fights? I was like, wait, are we training to fight? I was like, I thought this was a workout class. So I quit. But
yeah, he joined.
it was a great experience. Like, the team is nice. Like, honestly, I would go.
He was there for a month. He was there for a. It was
like a month or two.
He was really good.
Yeah, and
But you did.
but I
join-
thought it was
yeah.
a workout class.
No, you joined right in the middle of fight camp.
Yeah, so I thought it was a workout class, and then it turns out it was training, and I was like,
we were
okay.
training to fight at that
So I
point,
left, not because it was I liked the place, I really did, but I left because I was like, I'm not competing. Like, what the fuck? I don't want to get punched in the face.
What the fuck, Jess? You fucking made this fool sign up and he got fucking punched in the face.
Yeah, I
guy.
paid like the monthly plan to get punched in the face. What the fuck?
You
Fuck
got
is that?
to get punched in the fucking face.
I just go fucking talk shit to a homeless man. He'll punch me for free. Like, what the hell?
Oh shit! But guys, there you have it. The father of Sixx came to present the House of Sixx. So, thank you for joining us today again, guys. Glugar, please stop spitting in your blunts. Stop licking your fingers.
Yeah, we don't want to make out with you. Like,
We don't want to. We don't want to catch mono. We don't
Literally,
know.
herpes.
We don't know if you got herp. R&R Clothing. Thank you for sponsoring us
Wait, they
again.
should change their slogan to stops herpes.
What?
Glue gun.
Glugar.
Stops herpes.
Stop herpes. Yeah. You know what?
the spread of
Educational.
herpes, yeah. Purposeful.
Episode 6 with the House of Sixx. Thank you, Pancho, for joining us, bro. I appreciate you, man. We hope to see you at the future shows that we have. So we're gonna get you presenting your brand.
I hope
and
you go
yourself,
to
bro.
when I release my horror movie.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Please keep us posted about everything.
Give me about 6 to 10 years.
And can people just before we leave, can people actually purchase these exclusive bags or no?
They can.
Okay. Just
It's
reach
just
out.
and it's one of one. So like once
Yeah.
you buy it, no one else has it.
Just reach out to the House of Sixx, guys. But EleFaded podcast here on the Stoner System Network. Appreciate you guys.
Adios.
Peace.